Hello and good afternoon on this summer, sunny Monday afternoon. I hope we're all doing well. Wasn't live over the weekend, but I'm live now on Monday, and boy, is there a lot to talk about. Now, as I'm sure you will all be aware, Paul Pogba. I made a video on him a couple months back after he went on international duty and come out of a few bombshells on his future, saying obviously it'd be a dream to play under Zidane, etc., etc. Well, if you thought that was bad, damn, he has come out with some absolute stinkers. But is it as bad as it seems? Now, I won't go into exactly what he said, but I am sure that you all will have seen it. Something in the region of that he believes that he needs a new challenge. Straight from the horse's mouth. He says on the back of what he thought was his best season, where he was, top for near enough everything, stat wise. I think he was like most take-ons, most passes into the final third, top goal scorer, most assists, etc., etc. He believes that he is wanting a new challenge. Now, the way I sort of want to approach this video is through perspectives, because I believe in life in general, perspective is vital and key to achieving and understanding some of the very complex natures of life, to be honest with you. So initially, when I heard the news, saw the video, saw the interview, my first reaction was, who the fuck is Paul Pogba? Get him out of our fucking club. Who does he think he is? No one's bigger than the club, blah, blah, blah. Now, don't get me wrong. That was my first reaction. And although I do believe there is a hint of truth to that reaction and a hint of justification to that reaction, as time went on and I sort of thought about it and I sort of listened to other people's perspectives on it, I don't want to say my opinion has changed, because I do still feel that very, very much so. I do still feel like, if you want out, if you don't want to be at the club, off you go. We've sold bigger and better than Paul Pogba, the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, the likes of Ruud van Nistelrooy. We've lost the likes of Roy Keane, and we've still gone on to win the Premier League titles. Now, I think the major reason why the likes of Paul Pogba leaving is such bad news and really hard for a lot of Manchester United fans to hear is because he genuinely is our only world-class outfield footballer. And now if you lose him, when we're trying to get back to where we want to be, when we're trying to get back to winning Premier League titles, when we're trying to just get back into the top fucking four, when we're trying to just not go 7 games without a win and losing to both relegated teams, when we're trying to get back to a team that is grafting and works for the badge, it's not really ideal, is it, lads? It's not really ideal at all. However, this is a big however, I don't believe it's the end of the world if he leaves. I don't believe it's the end of the world if he leaves. Now, a few key things to highlight. Number one, he's come out in public and said what he said. Now, why would he do that? Because his agent, Fatty Minariola, greedy pig, is obviously telling him to do it. Because at the end of the day, if you come out publicly and you make such remarks, it puts pressure on the club. The ball is now in the club's court to take action on what Paul Pogba has said. Now, I knew Pogba wanted to leave Manchester United ever since he come out with them stinkers at his last international duty about Zidane. I knew he wanted out. Doesn't bother me. But if you put a Manchester United shirt on, you work your bollocks off and you sweat and you fucking put in a good graft for that shirt, because it is what it is and it is what it is. But yeah, where was I? So yeah, back on to Paul. The fact that he's gone public now means that the ball is in the club's court. Now, one big thing is that Paul has got 3 years left on his contract, right? He's got 3 years left on his contract. Now, United, personally, I think they've said they want 160 million euros for him. I wouldn't take anything less than 100 million. or maybe if he goes to like a Juventus, 100 or 150 million. Sorry, I wouldn't take anything less than 150 million. But if he, let's say he goes to Juventus, it's a difficult one because would you take 100 million and Cancelo? Would you? I don't know. You got, obviously the likes of Wan-Bissaka. Apparently, we're going to be signing him, finalising that deal by this week. If you sign him, obviously you don't get Cancelo. Who else would you go for? Douglas Costa, play on the right. I could, he could do a job, but he's very inconsistent. Would he adapt to the Prem? You sell him for 100 million in a player. If he flops, you basically lose money on Paul Pogba. It's a hard one. If he goes to Madrid, is there anyone at Madrid apart from Varane? Varane, anyone else? I can't think of anyone else at Madrid that I would take. Varane, Casemiro maybe, but he wouldn't take Kroos, wouldn't take Modric. Varane, that's it really, boys. So I don't really think it's going to be a player plus cash. If I was United, I wouldn't sell him for anything less than 150 million, regardless of what he's come out with. Even if he says I'm fucking going on strike, I'm like, sweet mate, you can sit in the reserves for 3 years. Don't bother me. But I don't think he will do that. I think if no one brings in an appropriate bid for him, which is 150 million pound, or you could maybe get away with 130 plus add-ons or something like that. But I don't think he will leave this summer, boys. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think he's going to leave this summer for the simple fact that no one can afford him. Juventus are not going to pay 150 million. They're just not. And Real Madrid have brought in the likes of Hazard, Jovic, and Militao already. So are they going to go and spend another 150 million on Paul Pogba? I don't see it happening. And that's why the likes of Paul Pogba have come out and publicly said what he said, because he knows that that is the only way that he's going to get his move out of Manchester United. Because I keep hold of him when he come out and publicly said that he wants to leave. I don't, to an extent, yeah, but I don't believe that like fully, because at the end of the day, we're a big enough club to be like, look, I don't care if you want to go, mate. You're under contract. When you're under contract, and if no one brings in an appropriate bridge, you're going nowhere. You're going absolutely nowhere. Next year, when he's got 2 years left on his contract, you get a year out of him, get us back into the top four. Because let's be honest, he's not gonna. If he isn't sold, he's not just not going to play at the end of the day, because that hinders him. Do you see what I mean? So he'll play and he'll want to perform at the end of the day, and he'll be in a team from the start of the season that will be more suited to him playing. Now, in the best case scenario, in a dream world, he spends another year under us. We get into the top four, maybe even top two. Who knows? Win a cup. He's all a bit handy dandy. Remembers what it was like being in youth level, all sweet as a nut, and then changes his mind and go, you know what? Actually, no, I do see myself here for a couple of years. Signs another contract. But do I honestly see that coming? No, I don't. But I don't see him being sold this summer unless an appropriate bid is made for him. United don't need to bottle it. Sit tight, stick Ed, mate. Just take a chill pill. Fine him, big bucks. Fine him for coming out with that utter shit. And it's the thing. It makes me think back to Mourinho when he called him a virus, and I just sort of think, it's easy to blame the manager and it's easy to scapegoat the manager, but I think now we can really see that Paul Pogba, he comes across as a very polite, easygoing, happy-go-lucky sort of guy. But I think, there's a side to him that's very selfish. Now, can you blame him for being selfish? One thing's for sure is that he values himself over the club. Now, the days of, the Roy Keanes, the David Beckhams, the Gary Nevilles that, live and bleed Manchester United and live and bleed one club, those days are basically gone. And I don't blame Paul Pogba for wanting to go, but I would have likened a bit more respect for the club, a bit more. We bought you when you was a youngster. You come through the youth. You pied us off. That should have been. It's really frustrating, to be honest, guys. It is really, really frustrating, the whole Paul Pogba saga. And to be quite frank, the quicker it gets sorted, the better. If we get a bid tomorrow of 150 million and he fucks off to Madrid or Juventus, to be honest, sweet mate, see you later. Good luck. And to be honest, I hope he does go Madrid, because he'll really see what it's like to be treated badly by fans. He fucking will be, because he thinks that you think you get a rough time at Manchester United. You wait to see what happens at Real Madrid when you're not as consistent as expected. So yeah, but listen, lads, that's kind of mainly from my perspective. From the club's perspective, like I've said, I wouldn't sell him. No need to sell him unless you get an appropriate bid. Keep hold of him, have a chat with him. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, listen, Paul, I know you want to go. I know it hasn't been good here for the last 3 years, but listen, believe in me, believe in the project. Give me the best. Give me your best year. Give me a top season. Get us back into the top four. Then I promise you, if you still want to go, we'll let you go for an appropriate bid next year. 120 million, 130 million. 2 years left on his deal. Real Madrid will pay it. No problem. See you later, Paul. Good luck. If he doesn't, if we don't get the bid, that's what we do. If we get a 150 million pound bid, all right, sweet Paul, no problem. See as you go. With that money, you bring in the likes of Madison, you bring in the likes of Bruno Fernandes, you bring in a Partey, you bring in a Ndombele. You got to shore up that midfield. That midfield has got to get that 150 million investment. No, like I'm talking 2 solid midfielders on top of Bruno Fernandes. Now that is how you make up for it. But do you trust the board to do it? I don't. We sold Cristiano Ronaldo 10 years ago. 10 years ago? Yeah, 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Fucking hell, 10 years ago we sold Ronaldo. And we replaced him with Michael Owen and some Bebe or something like that. So obviously the time, like, the circumstances are different. Ronaldo left when Fergie had a really, really good team. And they didn't have 6 years of absolute shite. So I believe we probably would reinvest it, but this is the thing. It means now there's more business that we've got to do, and our board are not very good at doing transfer business. It's now 17th of June. We've signed Dan James. We've probably got just about 6 weeks left of the transfer window, and we brought in one player. We still need a centre back. Harry Maguire is apparently on the lips. United are willing to pay up to £80 million for him. Pay the money, get him in. And then maybe next year you can go and buy that shiny world class centre back to complement him if Lindelof isn't that business. But I think if you bring Maguire in, he's not a Delit, he's not a Koulibaly. But I tell you what, he probably is third best choice. Pay the money, get him in. Sweet as you like, sort out that back four. Bring in Wan-Bissaka, who apparently may be done this week. And then I think that will be them two. Plus, you've got good enough coverage for the Lindelof position. You've got Shaw left back, Delo can cover, and then you need to bring in 2 midfielders, 3 if Pogba leaves. But I think we'll sign 1, 2 if Pogba leaves, and then we need a right winger. But I don't think we'll sign a right winger, boys. To be honest, I don't. As the time goes on, at the start of the summer, I was very optimistic as to whether or not how I felt this summer would go. But slowly, it is starting to become very, very bleak. And the light at the end of the tunnel is seeming to actually be moving further and further away. And next season, if the board don't pull their finger out and get the business done, don't get me wrong, boys, there's still plenty of time left. But we've got 6 weeks to bring maybe 4 players in. Do you believe they can do it? I don't, to be honest, boys. I don't. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. But then again, you have to looking at it from Paul's perspective. Can you blame Paul for really wanting to go? At the end of the day, when he was brought in, I know for a fact. Well, I don't know for a fact, but in the sense of what's coming out with Delit and Mino Raiola, in the sense of go to United for 2 or 3 years, and then you'll make your big money move to a Real Madrid. That's what I think Paul's plan was: come to United for 2 or 3 years, then get a big money move to Madrid. Now it's been 2 or 3 years. It's been shit. He's been below what we expected of him, and now I think he wants out. So I think it's an excuse, him using the fact that he was abused by fans and that, because I don't think he was at all. Don't get me wrong, that fan was. Hello and welcome if you've just joined us. We're talking Paul Pogba. Let me know down below in the comments, what do you think of the Paul Pogba saga? Who do you support? We're a fairly new channel. Let me know what you're thinking. Do you think Paul will leave? Do you think he'll stay? We're talking Paul Pogba. But yeah, I was saying, do we believe that? Can we blame Paul? Can we blame Paul Pogba for wanting to leave? Now, as a Man United fan, like I said earlier on in the video, if you say you don't want to be at Manchester United, see you later, mate. No problem. off you go on your bike. We'll pack your bags for you. Like I said, we've lost bigger and better players. But are we in a position as a club right now to be able to have that attitude, to be able to say to our world-class players, nah, we don't. If you don't want to be here, we don't need you. Or do we need to have a different approach and be like, right, Paul, I know you don't want to be here. I know that you are having a rough time. You're not enjoying yourself. You're not challenging for the major trophies. But can you give us one more year, like what Fergie said to Ronaldo in his last year, because he was apparently going to go the year before? Can you give us one last year, get us back into the top 4, and then next year we'll have a little talk about your transfer out of it. And then in the meantime, that gives you 2 to 3 transfer windows to make right and put into place Pogba leaving. So let me know what you think. Let me know, are you a Manchester United fan? Are you a football fan? Are you another club fan? Let me know who you are. We'll have a little chat about your club, how you're doing. But yeah, it's all kicking off in the world of football. All kicking off. It's fairly quiet. I'm hearing from the other teams. I think Sarri's just been confirmed as Chelsea manager. Not Chelsea manager, Juventus manager, leaving Chelsea. Who do you think will be the next Chelsea manager? Frank Lampard's obviously been called. Do you think that will be a good decision from Chelsea to bring in Frank Lampard, club legend? Me personally, it's obviously a risk. Who else is out there? Wolves manager has apparently been linked to the Chelsea job. I personally think that Nuno is a brilliant manager. Arsenal, I think I'm hearing news about Carrasco and a Polish centre-back or midfielder, apparently. I'm hearing news in that. I've got a few Arsenal fans. They've told me that they're quite buzzing about this potential transfer of this Polish fellow. I can't remember his name exactly. But yeah, also Carrasco. Liverpool, I think Fekir is still on the radar. Apparently, I've heard that they're still in potentially for Bruno Fernandes. Hopefully not. As a United fan, I think Bruno Fernandes is got to be our number 1 target. We need a bit more creativity. We need a little bit more spark in that midfield, a bit of quality. But yeah, it's about to pop off. I think we're coming now into what is going to be the peak of the transfer saga. It's going to be silly season. Players are going off on international duty. Players are coming back. All the youngsters are off. So, but yeah. Anyway, guys, I think I'll leave you there. Let me know down below what you think of Paul. What do you think in regards to? Do you think he's right to come out with them comments? Do you think that he was wrong? Do you think that the club should just out him straight away? Do you think that we should maybe adopt a bit of a different perspective? Let me know. If you're still here, big appreciation. I'm going to be doing hopefully 1 live stream a day. So get involved. Leave your comments down below. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. And bloody hell, let's hope these fucking stingy American owners will pull their bloody checkbook out, innit? Sweet boys. Have a good one.